what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome everybody to Lakeland, Florida and USA Speedway. Hi, my name is Ryan Ezel, and always by my side got my great friend David Edwards. Welcome to Evolution Racing Network from the US Legends Open Series. David, are you as excited as I am to be here tonight, brother?
Oh man, I'm loving it down here. Glad to be back down in Florida. Love being around this racetrack. It should put on a heck of a show tonight for sure.
Oh, I am so excited to see what these boys are coming up with as qualifying is underway. We're going to put that pesky rock music cheering in the background. We're going to let it fade away. Right now, she gone. All right, and here we are underway in qualifying. 5 minutes, 2 laps. Right here from USA Speedway. Harold Rothery putting in a blistering 23.787. I don't know if that's going to be the best time that we see here. We've got a lot of drivers. Last week's winner right there, Dick Little, and that beautiful Dick's Body Shop 68 getting on his out lap. David, what do you, I'm super excited. We're back to 125 laps at a 3/4 mile track right here. Wish this track was still in existence. My parents live in Lake Ashton, which is literally next door to Lakeland. And I wish that I could have went and visited this track in its glory days. It was demolished in 2012. It was a test track for several years before that. Ran from 95 to 2008. What are you looking forward to seeing tonight? Because this track is a god track on the iRacing server.
I'm looking forward to these guys having a little bit bigger track than what they're used to when it comes to the oval. Like you said, it's 3/4 of a mile. Most of these guys are used to running, quarter miles. The little inside Legends track at Charlotte. So had Myrtle Beach in there. So be able to open these things up and let them eat, see what they can do. Long straightaways, tight corners. It's going to be a pretty big get into the corner and holding the line. Watching through qualifying here too, these guys are hanging it out, and some of them are, struggling. They're getting a little loose. They were getting loose in practice, and it should be interesting to see how they handle this racing surface tonight.
I agree with you 110%. One thing that I compare this to, a lot of people are NASCAR fans. Look at the man, the myth, the legend, Will Brinkley. He has missed in several weeks. He was a front runner running, winning races, running up front week after week. He's been out the last few weeks. He's back tonight. But the one thing I compare this track to on a NASCAR style track would be Martinsville with a little more banking in the turns. You have these super long straightaways and really tight, almost like a paperclip. That's why they call Martinsville the paperclip, right? I think this track resembles that a lot.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like I said, the biggest thing is setting up for the straightaways. Most of the time in these cars, the run down the straightaway doesn't really matter. It's just how you get through the corner. But you've got to set up here tonight to be able to get the run off the straightaway, because that's where most of the passing is going to be. It's probably on corner entry, out breaking somebody, and being able to hold the preferred line. But if you don't come off the corner good, then you don't have a chance down these long straightaways.
Boy, you ain't lying. And we'll take a look real quick as qualifying. Looks like pretty much 10 of the 12 drivers. Dick Little, we saw him on the track, but he is not registering right now. We'll take a look at our qualifying chart. I don't see Little registering a time, so he probably made a little contact with the wall, or maybe the inside apron. Doesn't take much. But right now, it's time to go racing. Let's close up the qualifying session and let's get our grid set up. And tonight's pole sitter, no surprise, Mr. Rothery. And let's see if we can't get a quick word from him. Harold, this is Ryan and David in the ERM booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Hey, brother, congratulations tonight on the pole. Tell me,
Awesome.
What are you excited about? Back to the short tracks, back to 125 laps. Tire grip's going to be a factor. Keeping it out of trouble, but you're starting in the most premier spot you can, man. What are you excited about tonight?
I got to be patient.
Yeah.
All there is to it. A lot of good guys behind me. I just got to be patient. The setup doesn't come in until about 7 to 10 laps. You know me, I'm 110% every lap. That tonight. I just got to be patient.
Well, that's an absolute great plan. I hope you can achieve that, but you got some dark horses in the field tonight. You got a guy that hasn't been racing with you for weeks, but was a contender week after week in the beginning of the season. Will Brinkley starting on your outside. You got Nolan Potter, our favorite Styrofoam Cup, starting behind you. You got Casey Coots, Kevin Dowd. You got the league owner, Rusty Modesty. Kevin Zabladel's making a premier start tonight. Both Fitzpatricks, Jerry Culver, Dick Little, and Harold Watkins. These guys, any of these guys at any given moment can give you a run. What's going to be the winning factor tonight before we get you back to your team?
I think patience and tire management.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. Well, man, you guys are getting the cue, so I'm going to get you back up to your team. Good luck, and hope we'll get to talk to you at the end of this thing.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. You guys do a great job.
All right, thanks, brother. Talk to you soon. Well, you heard it right there from your pole sitter, David. Woo-wee. I'm excited.
Yeah, he couldn't have said any better. Tire management's going to be the big thing. We might have some comers and goers here. He said his setup doesn't come in till 7 to 10 laps. You might have guys that are quick off the start, and you might have some of these guys that don't come in till 10, 15, 20 laps in. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how all these different setups work and how the track holds it.
Yeah, and I've seen, we are on race number 11 of 14, and let's quickly, before these guys go racing, let's take a look at the race details. USA International Speedway, fully functional track for many series, including NASCAR, CASCAR, K&N, East-West. These guys right here, 0.61 miles. It's really a 3/4 of a mile track. Going to be a little hot tonight. 125 laps. These guys do not want to have to pit if they don't have to. And I'm going to give Harold Rother, because I just saw it right there on my screen, I am going to give him 4 thumbs up. That's both my toes and both my hands. And I'll tell you why here in a second. But right now, that iRacing.com pace car dips off, and our field is coming to the green, David.
Yes, sir, and they're off. Looks like you got a good start there. Harold got a slight jump there coming out of 4. We'll lead them off down into 1 as Nolan looks to the inside of Will Brinkley getting into 1.
Yes, he does, and he is hugging that bottom line. You're going to see a lot of people running different lines all throughout the night, but it's really going to become a one-groove track as this race settles in and gets longer into the run. And the reason why is because these cars, we've talked about it all season long. You've heard us say the word twitchy 1,000 times. High horsepower, low weight ratio. You've heard that 1,000 times. As you see, the 13 of Jerry Culver get wide, but he makes it work. these guys are going to want to sling it out to the wall and then tuck down, follow that yellow line all the way through, and go out. But as these tires wear on, you're going to see these cars kind of want to break loose a little bit, and they're not the easiest cars to control. You can overcorrect them super easy. Small field of 12 cars tonight. This could get real interesting real quick.
Oh yeah, like you said here, looks like you got Kevin Dowd outside running the outside, way up next to the wall there. Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. there on the screen, just hugging the bottom. These guys are just, Jerry Culver right there running that middle line again. These guys are all over the track right now. Oh, it looks like got Kevin Zab taking it off of 2, and and over he goes.
Give it some gas. Get her tipped so you don't have to tow. Oh, poor Zab. You saw it live right here. Man, that's a tough break. Let's go take another look at it here. Let's see. Look at that black and red 17 Kevin Zabladell. He has been out for the last couple of weeks. We just talked about it. We knew a driver was going to do it. Going to come out of that corner and have just a few too many beans. Now, don't forget, folks, at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see the ERN pit stop ticker. And I just saw our leader come in. We have seen this before, David.
I don't question him anymore.
Whatever
Nolan wants to do is right. Every time we question him, we say something. I eat my words. So yep, that's what everybody should have done. Everybody should have followed Nolan right there and pitted, because whatever he does, 9 times out of 10 is right.
We're 5 laps into this race. He's coming in to take tires. He either did not like the setup he had on the original race setup, or he flat spotted tires, or he's just trying to prove every broadcaster wrong known to man. But he came in, he started 3rd behind our pole sitter, made his way up to the front, come flying into the pits, taking tires, no damage to the car, so it's not like he needed to. 125 laps, I question it. Who knows? You got a very different mini strategies that could play out here. Nobody really wants to come in and do the pits though a lot, because it's 45 seconds to change a set of tires. You guys just saw it right there. But your pit stop tickers on the bottom. Anytime a car will come to pit road, you're going to see their time start ticking at the bottom. David, this could get interesting because we're not back at the road course like we have been, where no full course Carsons are. These guys are really going to have to take care of their equipment to make it to the end.
Yeah, touch on Nolan there. He may, if you're going to take tires, you've got to do it under caution. He may have been changing some air pressures, like you said. He may not have liked the setup. Maybe doing a little bit of tweaking with the air pressures to get the balance right. So, if you're going to take it, now's the time to do it. Get it right. That way, When it comes down to these long green flag runs, hopefully we get a good one. The car's under him and exactly what he wants.
Yeah, now I'd mentioned that I really have a newfound respect for Harold Rothery at the beginning of the race, at the top of the broadcast here. The reason why is we have seen this green number 4 run a couple of times, but call me an idiot or not very smart, which most people do. I saw the BC on the back of his car. If anybody in the dirt racing community knows what that is, that's for Brian Clausen. One of the most well-respected drivers taken from us way too early. Love that design, and I love that logo on the back, as we're going back to green right now with Harold Rothery in the Ford taking the lead.
Yeah, Harold got out to a good jump there, and looks like Rusty's trying to get on the inside of Will here. Will's been stuck on the outside on 2 restarts. On the initial start and this restart, hasn't been able to capitalize on starting that on outside front row. He's been hung out to dry a couple times. I believe he fell back to 3rd last time. He's battling right now with Rusty for 2nd. Looks like he may clear him off into 3, or nope. And here comes Rusty back to the inside. So, Will's having to fight there to keep that position.
Well, not only that, David, but it's such a risk to run that outside line, because that car, because that power to weight ratio wants to naturally slide up to the wall, and you only have so much room. And if you're already in the high line, you have to turn down, and that's where you see drivers make mistakes and overcorrect the car, and they go spinning, We've seen Will do it. We've seen Rusty. We've seen Nolan. We've seen every driver in this field do that, including Ryan Bean, our points leader tonight, who is not here. So these guys are able to make a lot of ground up, and we'll talk about the points coming up later, but it's pretty smart of him to allow Rusty to go by. That way he can get that preferred line. But we're not going to only have one caution for a driver getting up on the wall, coming out of the corner and just getting too close, or trying to keep from hitting the wall and overcorrecting.
Yeah. No, excuse me. As you see here, everybody, we had a couple side-by-side battles here right at the restart, but like we said before, it being a one-line track, everybody got single file as quick as they could. And literally just like everybody's just trying to turn laps. Nolan's made his way back up to 9th here after pitting. Not cutting through the field like we would expect, but of course then too, he may be riding and saving his tires. So everybody's single filed out pretty much. No real big battles. Looks like you've got Casey Kuntz checking underneath Jerry here and trying to get, looks like that's a battle for 5th. And he should clear him down the front straightaway. But for the most part, everybody just kind of riding right now.
Yeah, and I think you've seen Nolan Putter right there get underneath Andrew Little in the 68 car, and coming up to his teammate Harold Watkins in the big league 222 car. He's not going to want to go in there and get so overly aggressive that he tears up his car or tears up another car. It's 125 laps. These races, we see on average about 5 to 6 cautions throughout the race. And a majority, I'd say 80% of those cautions are in the first half of the race. So, and then we'll have these long green flag runs from like lap 60, 70, all the way to the end of the race. We'll have a long green flag run. That's how these races have traditionally gone. This is race 11 of 14. So we only have 3 more races, 2 more short tracks and 1 more road course at Summit Point. So this is a good opportunity for those guys that, like myself, that just cannot perform at the road courses. This is a good opportunity to get out there and do what they can to make use. There are only 2 style of tracks that these U.S. Legends and the U.S. Legends Open Series has been running. Short tracks, less than a mile, 125 laps, or road courses. So you're either going to be one or the other, or maybe a few of you have both, like a Ryan Bean kind of guy that can master both, but majority of these guys are either going to go after the ovals or they're going to go after the road courses. And they're going to do everything they can to try to get their chance to get at the end, because with Ryan Bean missing 2 weeks off for taking care of his responsibilities in the Air Force, which we thank him so much for, these guys can make up a lot of ground on him in the points, David.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Missing a week's bad. Missing 2 weeks is worse. But like you said, we thank Ryan for everything he does, his service, and doing what he does for us. So we understand the obligations. But, these guys, some of these guys are foaming at the mouth to get up there and knock this points lead down as much as they can. And as you see here, as we pan through, there's a lots of give and take out here this early in the run. These guys have, I think we're, 12, 13 weeks into the season. These guys are, there's lots of give and take. They know, like you spoke of, most of the cautions are in the front half of the race. They don't want that tonight. There's everybody's being very respectful, and if somebody gets the line, they kind of just run the higher line to give them the line, tuck in behind them, and keep moving forward. As we check back up front here, it looks like Will's got around Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. for second, and now looks like he's trying to stalk down Harold Rothery here for the first.
Yeah, he is, and they're both trying to get around the number 4 of Harold Rothery and that Brian Clausen-inspired paint there. The BC39, as they call it, from Indy is directly, I can't remember if it's right before, a couple days before, a couple days after the NASCAR series goes to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, this year we know they went and did the road course. Well, they have a little dirt track inside that track, and they do the BC39. And Kyle Larson, no surprise there, won it this year. But it was a heck of a battle with drivers like Chase Briscoe, that's from Indy, and a lot of other drivers, dirt drivers that are out there racing these USAC midgets. Such an awesome sight to see a BC logo on the back of that car. It just kind of gave me goosebumps when I saw it in pre-race. But these guys are all lining up. But I'm telling you, the guy that's looking like he's got a car with a setup to win right now is that number 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. You know, he has been all over the back bumper of the 47 of Will Brinkley, the dark horse here, in that all black 47. But he's a faster car. He's running faster lap times right now.
Yeah, I mean, Fitzpatrick Jr. has just had the worst luck this season. You know, you have those down seasons, and it's really good to see him running up here, top 3, pressuring Will Brinkley for second. You know, we're 25 laps in of 125, so there's still about 100 to go. If he can keep this pace up all night, he will definitely be up front. And it'll be nice to see him have a you know, I'd love to see him get a win, but at least a podium finish to try to maybe right his season here towards the end of it.
That's right. Now let's go ahead and throw up the graphic right here of last time by. Let's take a look at everybody's lap times as they are right now. And this will be scoring everybody's lap times as they come across the line right there. See the leaders come across the line. See where everybody is running. It looks like right now those new tires for Nolan Potter are really making a difference, where he is over a tenth faster than the next fastest guy there. Your leader running a 24:22. Nolan Potter made his way back up to 5th after starting 10th after that first caution there where he took tires, making a 24:14, 24:19. So he is making up a ground every single lap, which we would expect him to, David, on fresh tires. Now, it wasn't that long, but needless to say, new tires help. It doesn't matter if it's 2 laps, 5 laps, or more.
Oh, yeah, fresh shoes always help, especially on a track like this. You know, it allows you to maybe stay in the gas a little longer, put a little more wheel into it, pick it up just a little sooner. And, you know, we made mention of Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. here running 3rd, having a fast car. I'm not sure he's able to turn his fast lap times. You know, he's stuck up behind Will right now in 2nd. And I don't necessarily say Will's holding him up, but, I mean, you know, it looks like if Fitzpatrick Jr. could get out and around Will and have clean track to go after Harold, I'm pretty sure he'd be there. So it looks like right there, little bump there. I'm not sure if I don't know if we caught that, but it looked like going off into 1 from what I've seen. Harold gave him a little bumper shot saying, hey, I'm here, let's go.
Yeah, let's go on board right here with Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. in the 3 car, and let's go a couple laps around the track here from Portage, Indiana. You're going to see that he's going to run that same line down the straightaways. He's tucking it in. He's able to get that car up to the bumper. They're basically running the same times right now, but earlier, and right here you're going to see he's going to dive it in just a little bit more, and he makes up a little bit of ground on Harold, which allows him, following that apron there through the corners, that allows him to get back into the pedal a little bit sooner. I think that, you know, he probably ran 10, 15 laps all over the bumper of Harold, or excuse me, of Will Brinkley. He may have used up a little bit of that tire right there, David.
He may have, and that too, you know, he may be just trying to back off now. He realized, you know, he may be driving in just a tick too deep, maybe a little middle contact, nothing malicious, nothing too intentional, but said, okay, hey, listen, I'm going to back off. It's, you know, we're 33 laps in. There's no need for that. Don't want to ruin Will's race or ruin his race, so to say. So just take a couple car lengths back and just ride.
That's right. Right there, all the way up to 4th. You saw it earlier. Nolan Potter, our favorite Styrofoam Cup, has made his way up to 4th, getting ready to go around the lap traffic of Kevin Zablett on the 17 there. But he is gaining ground. When we had the chart up earlier showing everybody's best or last lap times, he had the field by a tenth or so, and he's making up that ground. Now, we'll have to ask him, so I'm sure of it, he'll be in the top 3 tonight. But I want to see what the strategy was. I guarantee you that setup wasn't to his liking. Come in and take a pit stop at lap 5. Something had to be off, but it seems like they found what they were looking for, David.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, Don't know what exactly he changed, but it definitely was a swing in the right direction. He's sitting there he's clicking off laps and running them down every single lap. So it's nice to see him kind of rebound from that. And like I said, I don't question what he does anymore because every time I do, I hate my work. So like I said, whatever Nolan does is right.
Yeah, I'm starting to follow you on that one, brother. But all up front, it is Harold Rothery in that number 4 green machine. Check it out a little bit over second and third. But before it gets too late into this, because folks, we're already a quarter of the way through this race, and it feels like it just started. Well, we're going to go pay some bills. You won't miss any of the action because we're going to go ERN side by side. But we have got to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back after these words.
Casey's calling me over. Says he
The story's on it. Who's
I
that?
have done. I got it. I got it. Oh my God, I'm back. Look at this bad boy.
All right, welcome back to Lakeland, Florida, here at USA Speedway for the US Legends Open Series. You just heard a word from our premier sponsor here at the US Legends Series, Potter County Diggers. Very cool YouTube channel where they are out searching historical sites, homesteads, estates, war grounds, looking for historical artifacts that may be buried just beneath the surface up there in northeast Pennsylvania. Check them out at Potter County Diggers on YouTube. It's one of those black hole videos that you'll go in and watch, 30, 40 seconds of one video. Next thing you know, your wife's waking you up in the morning and you haven't been to sleep yet going, what am I doing? And you've watched video after video after video because these guys make it interesting. Check them out, Potter County Diggers on YouTube. But up front, it's still the Harold Rothery Show, and we've got Ryan Bean checking in. Ryan Bean checking in, going, Harold, just put him on the table with that lap, talking about his qualifying lap. Well, Ryan, he has not let up. Because right now, it's all the Harold Rothery Show. Now, he did say, and I'm pretty sure, David, if you make a comment in a live stream for the entire world to see, because we all know that here at Evolution Racing Network, we get millions of views per second. Okay? So, if you make a statement in the comments, that's as good as a law-abiding contract, right?
Oh, for sure. Especially here, like I said, I mean, any point in time you look at our viewer count, we're in the hundreds of thousands. So, yeah, I mean, he's put it out there for everybody to see. So,
NASCAR seen this, TMZ, Fox News, CNN, you name it. They have picked up on this, and they know that Ryan Bean in the Air Force is about to eat some shorts. Now, I don't know what kind of shorts they are, what they might be filled with, but we're going to make sure that we get this on video, and that'll be our next video, folks. So tune in to ERN, why Ryan Bean eats his shorts.
Yeah, that'll be one of those the midweek things that we
bonus material, as they call it. Well, right now he's saying if Kevin Dowd or Casey Kuntz doesn't win, I will eat my shorts. And I don't know if that's good for your diet, Ryan, but hey, to each their own, I guess. I don't like Brussels sprouts, but hell, you like shorts, whatever. I'll give it to you. Looks like Will's making up some time on old Harold, though. He's broken away from Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. in the 3-car. And Will Brinkley, after being absent for a few weeks, coming back in tonight and showing everybody, hey, I can knock the dust off here. Just because I've been gone, don't think that I'm not a contender, because he is gaining on Harold Rothery every single lap. And we're not even at the halfway point.
Yeah, speaking with Will, in the garage before the race tonight, he had a long run car. And that's kind of his MO throughout the season. He was absent there for a few weeks, but even the races he was here, he has the long run speed. He might not have the initial 10 to 15 laps, but they get these long green flag runs. That car comes to him every single week. As you see here, he's down to about under 0.3 of a second on Harold Rothery, and is closing in. He's down now within a few car lengths of Harold. So we'll see what Will can do here, and I would imagine here the next 10 or 15 laps, if not sooner, have him worked over and possibly be leading.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Let's see if we can't throw up some details. You got the battle box up there in the bottom right corner. It shows your number 1 and 2 drivers there. And you see that Will is literally gaining every single lap. It's like he gains a foot of distance between the two. They both are on the original tires right here. I think these guys, man, they're going to, Will's going to put it all on the line. If you're only going to get to race half of the races in a season, you need to make every single one of them count. You don't get a mulligan. And so Will is on that corner exit. I've noticed the last few times he slings it out a little bit wider. You see him actually take a wider entry in the corner as well. And then he slings it out there a little wider to the wall. Maybe riskier, but bigger reward as well, because he's getting a lot of speed and not allowing Harold to escape his path here.
Yeah, right now he's just Will's a smart racer. He's probably just sitting there riding behind Harold, just learning, just trying to pick and choose his spots, seeing what he does, what he can do different than Harold to get around him. And Harold may have been laying back as well. Because he picked up here. Will was within a car length or two of his back bumper, and now it looks like Harold's trying to drive away again, or maybe Will tried something, didn't like it, and had to gather the car back up and says, "Okay, let's go try again." But you see here, they're kind of holding a consistent gap here.
Yeah, running a little bit different line on entry and exit of the corners here at USA Speedway, but these guys are doing great. And speaking of that, let's go take a look and let's talk about the points right now. Right now, as the points sit, with Ryan Bean missing the last race and tonight, but as they sit coming into the race, Ryan Bean still in the lead with 377 points. Rusty Modesty, league owner, 340 points. Harold Watkins in the 22, 324. Nolan Potter, 323. And Andrew Little, 317. That's your top 5 in the points coming into this race. With Ryan missing tonight again, this is going to allow drivers like Rusty Modesty, Harold Watkins, Nolan Potter, and Andrew to make a huge gap on them. And tonight, if Rusty has a good showing, which right now Rusty is running 7th position, he very well could either get to or leap over Ryan in the point standing, coming with 3 races to go in the season. But it's that time of the night. Getting ready to come to the halfway point here in a few laps. Let's go through the field, brought to you by Fox Hills Lawn Care. And David, I'll let you start this off, brother.
Yeah, out front right now, Harold Rothery from Donaldsville, Ohio. He's led every lap, started on pole, turned a quick lap time, and has yet to look back behind him. He's putting the laps down and just picking them up, putting them down as he's getting a little pressure here from our second place guy, Will Brinkley, who started outside front row. Will's been absent for the past few weeks, so it's nice to see him back and running strong and challenging for the lead here.
That's right. And in third place, the 3-car, ironically enough, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. It's under fire from Nolan Potter there, but Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. from Portage, Indiana, doing a great job. You heard from David earlier. He's just had one of those seasons, kind of been hit or miss, either getting wrapped up in somebody else's trouble, the setup not agreeing with his driving style, but having a great showing tonight, doing a great job, holding consistent as the same number as his car in that 3rd position. Right behind him, though, our favorite Styrofoam Cup, Nolan Potter, who's got one win on the season tonight. Came in one of two drivers that came in on that first caution at lap 5 and took tires from running up front. And took tires. It started ninth and has fought his way back through, and then now is trying to battle around Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. in the 3, and that's Nolan Potter from Grand Forks, North Dakota.
In 5th, you got Casey Kuntz here in 31 from Gailton, Pennsylvania. Good showing for him tonight. He started up, I believe he started 3rd or 4th tonight. So, he's really holding his own, put down good laps. Car's clean, running consistent, not really pushing it. So, he may be having a little strategy here to save a little bit and try to be there towards the back half of the race if we can make this on a no-stop race. Running 6th is the 68. I'm not even saying that, Andrew. So, yep, from there. I wasn't even going to try. And that beautiful blue dick little car. Running 6th tonight. Probably not as good as he'd like to be tonight. Andrew's normally up front at these ovals, so don't know if maybe he's missed the setup a little bit tonight. But still running strong there in 6th. And so we'll see what he can, if he can improve on that throughout the night.
That's right. Right behind him, we got the league owner, Rusty Modesty. Has started in 6th place, has lost 1 position since the start. Been very consistent, just like Casey Kuntz. Having a plan. I don't think he was wanting to be overly aggressive up front, but doing a really good job. 2nd in the points right now. Has a lot to lose. So I think if there's a guy out there trying to be more patient and more not be aggressive, it's this guy right here, because he knows with Ryan missing 2 races, he's going to have a great opportunity to make up a lot of ground. But don't wait. And as Ryan is saying, because he's watching right now, the 28 is going to be back out on the track next week. So, but if he can catch up with Ryan in the points, what a battle these two are going to have down to the wire with 3 races to go. 2 short tracks and a road course. And another driver right behind him, Kevin Dowd from Coudersport, Pennsylvania, one of the co-owners of Potter County Diggers, rocking the 98 Potter County Diggers paint job. This is one of the guys.
Ryan, not to interrupt you, we need to go up front. There is a hell of a battle right now.
Oh, hello. We'll come back to Kevin Dowd. But, man, I'm glad you did, because this thing right here, what in the hell?
I watched them going down the backstretch here, and, Harold run wheel to the apron.
All right, we're going to go back to the ERN booth. We'll be right back through the field, folks. We're almost through it, but we'll be back. We're going to go back and take a look.
This was a 2-car battle that just turned into a 4-car battle for the lead.
Yes, it did. And, man, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. throwing it on that high line right there, trying to make it work. As we pretty much crossed the halfway point of the race right now, but this little 4-car battle, 2x2, is getting interesting. I'm even hesitant to go to the replay right now because I want to see how this plays out. We'll go to the replay in the ERN booth here in just a second, but let's go take a look and let's keep an eye on how this thing is playing out. Now, Bob running that high line, man, he got close to the wall there.
Yeah, he's using up every inch of racetrack there, trying to get as much momentum out of that thing as he can.
But it looks like Will's struggling there, too, on the inside.
Yeah, it looks like Will may be a little geared a little different, and it looks like they all single-filed out there. But, they got bunched up, and when I looked over down the backstretch, you could barely even see the cars. They were so low going off into 3.
Well, let's go take a look while they've got single file and see how this all taking place. You see Harold Rothery, Will going to the high side there. This is several laps ago. Harold Rothery been running that same consistent line, and Will's like, look, I got to try something up. And they are all the way down, and Harold, just like you said, runs him all the way down. And with these two battling like crazy, that allows the 3rd and 4th place drivers to just catch them up.
Yeah, I think they did this for a couple laps here. Will was able to drive it off in there, get a good run, get a good, good release off of turn 2, and just kept poking his nose down there. And before long, I mean, he come down and got the draft there. When I seen it right when they all got bunched up, I mean, it was looked like both cars were on the apron going off into 3. I mean, It was just lap after lap of this, and this battling allowed Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. and Nolan Potter to catch up.
Oh, wow, there it was. That's what you were talking about. Will just sent it full send into the corner on the outside and made it stick and crowded Harold Rothery to the apron there. And by them both doing that, not allowing to get their fastest laps, that did allow Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. and Nolan Potter. So let's go back live to the action right now and see how it looks like it's starting to brew up again, because you got that 4-car battle with about
looks like Will's faded there
laps.
a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Will's starting to drop back. He's all the way back to 4th. Got Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. now. That car seems to be coming alive late in this run.
Yeah, you got Nolan Potter sitting there in 3rd, who, I mean, doesn't have great new tires, but he does have 5 to 7 laps better tires than anybody he's running around. So, hopefully he's trying to take that to his advantage and see what he can do here.
Yes, as you see the top 4, and we'll finish up real quick. Yeah, Kevin Dowd there in the 98, running in 8th. Harold Watkins, Team Stealth from Kalamazoo, Michigan, the 22 Big League Chew, is running in 9th. Jared Culver holding strong, top 10. Oh, no.
As soon as we cut away.
Here it is.
Looks like
This is what
Fitzpatrick
just
Jr.
happened. Oh, he
Gets a
hits the
little loose.
apron. Hits the apron, gets a little too eager, but gathers it back up, locks her down, taps the outside wall, has to back her up. Tough break because we we are now under caution. Let's go back and see. Harold Rother retains to be your leader. Nolan Potter 2nd. Will Brinkley 3rd. Your biggest loser, if you will, in that battle is going to be Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., but he's still 7th in line, and he had locked the brakes up enough to keep too much damage off the wall, and this will allow the entire field to come down, take tires, adjust on that setup, and see how they do on the back half of this race.
Yeah, this caution really helped the 47 to Will Brinkley. We seen him there fade, and I'm not sure if maybe he burned it up there with his little battle with Rothery there for those few laps. But I know of all the people that were begging and pleading for a caution, it was him. As we seen there, Nolan overshot his pits a little bit.
Yes, he did. Had to back it up. Now, granted, that only takes a couple of seconds to have to do that, folks. But that's a couple of seconds that none of the other drivers do. So if we go up front here and keep an eye on the field and see how it comes out, Nolan will come out 2nd. That is shocking for missing a pit box and coming in 2nd and to be able to not lose any spots. That is an incredible job by his team there.
Yeah, it looks like the biggest loser there on pit stops was Will Brinkley. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Maybe he had some damage we didn't know about. But, I mean, he is just now leaving pit road, and that's a lengthy stop compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah, the rest of the field is about 53 to 55 seconds from the time they enter pit road, got their services and out. He had a 1 minute and 7 second, the longest by far of anybody on pit road. So let's actually see if we can't cue him up real quick and find out exactly what happened here. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to do that. I can't find his radio frequency tonight. So why we wait? Let's see if we can't go talk to our second place driver, Nolan Potter, and get some word on. Nolan, this is Ryan and David up in the area, but you got a copy.
I got a copy.
Hey, brother. Hey, now, David said he would never, ever question your tactics. But why go in on lap 5 and change tires and come out 10th, work your all the way back to 2nd? But what was the reasoning behind it?
I forgot to put fuel in the car.
Oh,
We went
okay.
Like 35 laps more, I probably would have had a pit on a green. So.
Hey, that caution came out just in the right time, but I know you're getting ready to get the one to go probably this time by. How's the car feel, and are you excited for how this thing's going to play out?
Yeah, it's fun. Harold's really fast, and he's got that bottom line working. So, might have to try and figure out the high side here. But I mean, on USA, high side's kind of iffy sometimes. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta
it's risky.
Figure it out.
Well,
But no, it was fun. It was a fun battle there with the four of us. So probably gonna have some more fun here in a little bit.
awesome, brother. Well, you get out there and go get you a victory, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks,
All right,
David.
thanks, brother. All right, right there. That's your second place driver, the 34 of Nolan Potter there, as the lights are out in the iRacing.com pace car, David, which means one thing.
We're going back green.
That's right. As they're racked and stacked, double file, 2x2 all the way back. And Harold Rother gets a great start. Nolan Potter is able to gather up that second position well. But looky who we have creeping up in that third position there.
Good old. Oh, no.
Oh, what happened? No. Oh, we got to go back and see exactly what happened there. You see your leader there, Harold Rothery in the green machine. Been leading every lap, gets up front. Nolan Potter.
Oh, just a little.
Doesn't even make any inside contact. You know what? Caution came out, though, which means it's not like he's got 30 cars to go through, David.
Right. I mean, he has been the class of the field all night for sure. So
Now, he's been the class of the field in clean air. I wonder what this car
True.
looks like in dirty air, though, and in traffic.
right. Well, it will be interesting to see for sure him and Will coming back up through the field.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, just Will Brinkley back on pit road. We'll keep the camera on him here for just a second and see if it's something that damages getting repaired. I don't see any tires being taken. Oh, no, we are taking new tires. Maybe that setup on that long run was just not to his liking there, David.
Well, you know, he did come in there at the end as a long run, and that was almost a 80-ish lap run. So he may be adjusting air pressures here to accommodate for essentially having to run half that to get to the end. You know, he come on there right at the end of that run. So if he has that set up, you know, maybe bump the air pressures up a few pounds so that they come in a little sooner, and maybe allow him to go a little sooner than what he was able to on that last run.
Yeah. Well, this is going to get interesting. You know, we go first caution at lap 5, and then we don't have a caution again until lap 70-something, and then another quick one for a little two-car incident, but no damage, it looks like. So Nolan Potter's going to be starting out front with Andrew Little on the outside of that front row. Rusty Modesty fought his way all the way back up to a podium place right now with Casey Kuntz and Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. Rounding out your top 5. So this is going to get interesting because the laps are winding down, and we have seen week after week it takes 0 time for these races to be over.
Yeah, and these guys have got to be mindful of new tires. You know, it looked like he had a little help, but these guys got to be mindful of the new tires, cold tires, and you know, like we spoke to some of these guys before, some of these setups don't come in for 7 to 10 laps, so we've got to get heat in the tires, and before we start going 2 and 3 wide racing like we were before.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't worry, you won't miss a thing. We'll be going side by side. So as this race starts, so will we. You'll be able to see it side by side.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. butt kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, welcome back to Lakeland, Florida here at USA Speedway as we are back under green. Nolan Potter gets a great launch. Rusty Modesty and Andrew Little trying to make that outside line work with Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. underneath him. Gets a little squirrely there, but keeps it together, David.
Yeah, you know, we haven't had that many restarts tonight, but it looks like starting second is the demise. You do not want to start second here. Outside line, I haven't seen anybody yet retain that position after a restart. It's second place is always, whoever started outside front row is always fell into at least, at best, third place in the run.
Yeah, you're right. And Rusty Modesty, who started, I believe, sixth, fell back a couple of spots on that longer run and has worked his way up to second place under fire by Andrew Little. But Will Brinkley and Harold Rothery, the guys that have made up the front row of this field all night long, right there battling each other, which may be a better idea to tuck in the line and figure out how they can both get through the field and then battle it out towards the end, because we're 25 plus 9, 34 laps to the end of this. That'll be over in no time, David. They may run out of time if they don't hurry up.
Oh, you scared me. I felt the heat and the smoke coming from you trying to math there on the fly, so be careful with that one. But, yeah, I mean, I was going to say the same thing. You know, them guys starting to battle and cross over and running low lines and squeezing each other. I mean, they have been the class of the field all night with Nolan as well. I mean, you can battle it out for seventh or eighth if you want to, or y'all can get together and pick these guys off one by one and settle it back up front where you've been all night.
Exactly. You know, and that, it looks like they've kind of settled their differences at the moment. Harold Rothery is just trying to follow Will through the field, but with all these guys back on fresh tires now, it's going to take a little while for the setups that have the long run and design to really show, and we really don't have a long run amount of laps left. So Will Brinkley's fought his way back up to seventh with Harold Rothery ninth and putting pressure on Kevin Dowd right in front of him. But back up front, that could have been the best laid caution for these two guys, Nolan Potter and Rusty Modesty in the 34 and the 6 here, because they're trying to check out on the rest of the field.
Oh, for sure. You know, just to touch base about what you was talking about with Will and Harold there, yeah, everybody's heroes on new tires. The setup's not going to really make too much of a difference for the first 5 to 10 laps because everybody's got the same amount of grip. You know, the car's going to stick. You know, we got 31 laps to go right now. So, you know, when it gets down to 10 to 15 to go, you might see if we can keep this green the whole way to the end. That'll be when the setups start trying to come through and show who's got what, who's been driving the best, who's been saving a little bit. So hopefully it goes green and we get to see that here.
Yeah.
But, you know, these two up front, I mean, we thought they were checking out here, but it looks like Andrew Little and Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. again are lined up and are running these two down, trying to make it a 4-car battle again.
Yeah, they are. And the top 4 are starting to actually make a little breakaway. This is kind of what we were seeing, a 4-car breakaway before that last caution. Maybe a little bit different players this time, but the same kind of design. These guys are running single file, nose to tail. Nobody really putting pressure on anybody. And they're starting to get a little bit of a gap, not much. And it won't be too long until you're going to start to see some side-by-side action because the laps are going to run out. We're coming with 28 laps to go here at USA Speedway. These guys are just kind of getting into the rhythm, trying to make sure that they don't make a mistake. You know, we saw Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. hit that apron earlier and kind of have himself spin. That's one of those areas that looks so... one of the places that doesn't look harmful. It's just an apron of a racetrack. But when those tires are new, we are back under caution. I'm getting word it may be something to do with Will Brinkley again. No. Let's go back and take a look. down. Oh, Black 47 right there as he is on the back of Harold Watkins. It looks like just too many beats. And then right behind him, Will Brinkley and Harold Rothery both do the same thing.
That was strange to say the least. It almost looked like the 22 dropped fluid because they both drove off in there and it just got loose.
Yeah, we're going to sit here and kind of watch this. So we see both cars do the exact same thing. Neither one of them really make contact with anything. But wow, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, that was just strange. I don't know if maybe they got on the brakes a little too hard getting in there. And, I did see it looked like Harold checked up there getting into one. I wonder if he caught Will by surprise. And so he jumped the brakes so he didn't run him over and just enough to set the rear end around. But looks like we got some takers down pit road here for this late caution.
Yes, we do. Got Harold Rothery side, probably got a little flat spot. Kevin Dowd, which has been pretty quiet but consistent tonight. Jerry Culver in the 13. And Harold Watkins, which was right in front of Will Brinkley there. But Will Brinkley did not come to the pits. He doesn't think that those flat spots are really going to damage him. That's going to put him up in the 6th position. So it'll be outside row 3. That's close enough to the front, but the wrong side of the track.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting to see. Don't question some of these guys with strategies much too more, but it looks like we'll have about 23 or 22 to go when they take the green flag. So the best I can say is tighten that car up, run the air pressures up if you have a long run car. So it's you can go for this last little sprint here.
Yep. Well, before we get kicking again, guys, we're going to go pay the bills. Don't worry, you won't miss a thing. We'll be right back here with ERN side by side.
There are currently 2 million American spouses and children whose family member was killed or disabled in defense of our country, which is why I founded the Folds of Honor, providing educational scholarships to the families of 1% of the Americans who protect our freedom.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Please join our squadron today. Your $13 a month speaks volumes and changes lives forever.
Well, here we are. Could this be the last caution, David?
No.
So you're banking there's at least going to be one or two, maybe more.
I mean, if you look at the way the field's set up, and you got Will starting 6th, Harold starting 8th, Kevin Dow back there in 10th. He's had a quiet night, kind of riding around in the back, so he may be ready to go. And Rusty's been coming up through the field too, and running 2nd here, starting outside front row. Robert Patrick Jr. starting 4th, Andrew Little starting 3rd. I mean, it's go time for there's no more give or take, nice guy this, nice guy that. Oh, go ahead, I'll give you the line. It's get everything you can while you can.
That's right. And 7th through 11th have brand new shoes. And they're ready to dance. Right now, we are going back to green. Nolan Potter stacks them up, and he gets a great launch and takes it straight to the outside, trying to get in front of Rusty, which he does. And right behind him, you've got a hungry field of drivers that know they got new tires coming up in the back of the field, so they're trying to get out front as quick as they possibly can. You got a 3-car battle right here, all 3 of the black cars. Casey Kuntz, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., and right there, back up front, Will Brinkley bringing the challenge.
Looked like they're coming off 4. We had a switch for the lead there. Rusty Modesty was able to get around Nolan Potter coming off of 4.
Was.
So, as we got, looks like, got one spin out towards the back. Hopefully they get it collected and not bring out a caution. I think it was Bob Fitzpatrick Sr.
Yep, but he is back going, and we are under green, continuing with 19 to go, side by side.
Sticking it under there, Rusty going off into 1, putting Rusty up out in the outside line in the unpreferred groove as Andrew was thought about taking it 3 wide there down the backstretch, but thought better of it.
Yeah, he did. Rusty's fear right now is if he cannot make that outside line work, he's going to get freight trained because he's got 4, 5, 6 drivers to the inside of him. The draft is not a big issue here, but what is that preferred driving line, and Rusty is trying everything he can to make that outside line work. And all he needs is about a half a car length on corner exit there to get these guys to work. As you see Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. there get loose. Flips it, and Jerry Culver there in the 13 makes contact. Wow, this is getting exciting here, boys.
Yeah, that one was interesting to say the least. Looked like Will drove it off down there at the bottom of 3, and maybe they touched rear wheels there, and that's what got Robert loose. I wasn't quite sure from the angle I could see, but I do know they got real tight going off down to the bottom of 3 between the 47 of Will Brinkley and the 3 of Robert Fitzpatrick Jr.
Yeah, let's go back and see if we can see exactly what took place. This is the angle we're looking at here. Keep an eye on those black cars. You see Junior get loose, spin it, not make any contact. And Jerry gets a little loose right there in front of the 31 of Casey Kuntz. Minimal contact. I don't think it's going to be enough in these cars to really come into play with any major damage and the speed. But nonetheless, there's that second caution you said we were going to have.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan out there in chat. Yep, you seen what I seen there too live as that happened. It's a recent incident, yes, but it was a late move to say the least. I believe here. See, I don't know if we got a good angle of it here or not, but if we could get I'm not sure if the cameras caught it from the rear end there.
Okay, let's go try it.
It looked like they may have touched just a little bit.
Let's try that one more time. Oh, yeah, it looks like Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. was getting a little loose. Had to check it up, and Harold was right there to make contact. There was moves going all over the place right there, though, David.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, we got Mr. S out in chat now.
Well. All hail our great leader, Mr. Sheffield, Michael Sheffield.
One of the top tier team owners in the RSR Cup side that runs tomorrow night.
That is right. And not only that, one of the co-owners of Evolution Racing Leagues and Evolution Racing Network. Welcome aboard, Michael Sheffield. Glad to have you in here. Be even cooler if you come in the broadcast booth with us, because I know you're sitting out in the lounge having your coffee, having your brandy, just watching the show. Why don't you come on in here and have some fun with us? Yep, I didn't think so. Well, we'll see if Mr. Sheffield cracks the door. I can see him sitting right outside, so we'll see if he pops in here. But this has been some exciting racing we're seeing right here, David. And it's only going to get better.
Oh, they're going to have, I believe, 12 to go whenever they take the green flag. So, these guys, the intensity is going to pick up for sure. These, the moves are only going to get a little bigger, less room given, maybe some more bonsai moves off into the bottoms of turns if that gap's there. And I mean, you can't fault Will for that. The line was there. He had the run. Was it a little late? Possibly, but, it's under 20 to go. You've got to take that hole if it's there. So no fault of his on there, just hard racing.
That's right. Now I want to welcome Michael Sheffield to the booth. One of my best friends and the great. Why don't you take us back to green here, Sheffield?
It's going to take me a minute. Y'all go ahead.
All right. He's
trying to wipe his eyes from all the brandy he's had.
Yeah, he's still sipping on his brandy. We see these guys going side by side. And Andrew Little and Will Brinkley make major contact. Oh, and I don't know how that did not take out more drivers right there. That was insane. Let's go back and take a look at it, David. See exactly what happened.
It just the seas parted for everybody behind anybody from fifth on back. The seas just parted.
Holy smokes. Let's get a better angle here. Keep your eye on that baby blue and all black car right there. Andrew is going down. Will kind of comes down the track a little bit, makes contact. And luckily, Andrew Little only spins on the bottom half, keeps the car from washing up the track. And Will Brinkley goes right into the field, and the entire 6-car field splits right in between them, just like you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that was another one of those late moves, but I mean, you know, it was on a restart, and it really looked like Andrew got down to the bottom there and held his line. And I'm not sure if Will was hoping he would be clear, maybe he just didn't see him, but they touched just ever so slightly there, and they both went opposite ways.
Boy, you ain't lying. Michael, what do you think about the racing you've seen tonight?
Broadcast has been really good. Been really good racing there that I've seen here. I was a little later tuning in because we got done with the truck series, but yeah, been great racing tonight.
Yeah, you know, we've seen for the first half of the race, it seemed like the first 80 laps is kind of, you know, some good battles here and there, but nothing too dramatic, I guess you could say. And then from about 85 to 90 lap and on, which we're coming to the conclusion of this race, has been nothing short of exciting. Will Brinkley looks like has got major damage and probably will be retiring that car tonight. But up front, it's still Nolan Potter, Rusty Mossity, but look who has made his way back to third place there, David.
Harold, you know, he was one of the biggest guys that benefited from that most recent caution there. You know, he was running fifth when those guys got together. I could only imagine what he's seen there driving through there. But, you know, he was the one to get the biggest gain out of it, coming out now third. He will be in prime starting position. As I don't know, though, you know, as soon as I made that comment about starting outside front row, Rusty Modesty has made it work for the past 2 restarts.
That's right.
So,
let's go back and
impressive.
take a look from Will's front row seat here. Harold's front row seat. Let's see if I can do this quick enough. This is what he saw when these two cars are getting close, getting together. Hope he had the brown racing suit on tonight, David.
Oh, for sure. That's one of those times if you're like, oh, God, please just Andrew go left and we'll go right. Just please don't, nobody overcorrect the other way. Just please let me sneak through there.
I'm telling you, that could have been bad for this entire front half of the field, and it could have changed the trajectory of how this race ends up tonight. You know, we've talked about with Ryan Bean being gone for last weekend tonight. This is going to allow drivers like Nolan and Rusty especially, and Harold Watkins now up in 4th position, those drivers to have a chance of taking the points lead after tonight. We'll have to wait and see how it ends up. But right now, they're racked and stacked and ready to go, and David's going to take us back racing here any second.
Yeah, iRacing.com lights are out. He's going to take a hard left here down the pit road. It's going to be 6 laps to go when they take the green flag. You know, Nolan's looking to get a great start here on Rusty, and he goes late there. But, man, Rusty's right there on the right rear quarter, staying right with him, going off into 1 and not going to let him get away. And looks like Harold's going to end up dropping back a spot here. So he's still stuck on the inside of Rusty Modesty. Harold Watkins. Sorry.
Yeah, you got Harold on Harold crime here, but Harold Watkins throws it down in front of Rothery there and maintains that 3rd position. But this is a hornet's nest of drivers, top 10 drivers right here. Nobody's letting up, and Rusty Modesty is all over the bumper. They make contact going into the corner, both the first pair and the second pair of cars. Keep your eyes on that 22. He is all over the bumper of Rusty Modesty.
Yeah, Rusty got in the back of Nolan there, and Harold got in the back of Watt, and Rothery got in the back of Watkins. They're going off through 1 and 2. I mean, these guys are just all over the place, just picking and choosing, trying anything they can, any line, any kind of momentum they can do to get around them. As it looks like Harold's able to get underneath Watkins here in the middle of 1 and 2, trying to get the drive off the bottom here.
Yeah, and it's Rothery on the inside, Watkins on the outside, and neither one of them are letting up. And Rothery is flirting with that apron there as we're going to be coming to the line, and Rothery goes loose and slams the inside wall. as we stay green for the moment, but you saw Harold Rothery take a sharp left turn and make contact with the inside wall. And with only 3 to go, folks, we will show you what happened as soon as this race is over, because as of right now, the popsicle sticks are in the air, and we've got a drag race up front between teammates.
Watkins drove it off into one. He full sent that one off in there.
Boy,
I can only imagine Nolan had to give him some kind of room there, because Harold just was not giving that position up. He was going to take it come hell or high water there.
Yeah, look who's in second spot. Kevin Dowd, the 98, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. all over the back bumper of that car. Because right now, folks, we're under the white flag, the U.S. Legends Open Series final lap here as they come down the backstretch. Harold Watkins in the lead. But we got a drag race for second spot right there between Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. and Kevin Dowd as they come out of 4. And Harold Watkins going to get his first victory in the U.S. Legends Open Series. Holy mackerel.
Later, it completely flipped that. When we took the green with 5 or 6 to go, you had the 4 Harold Rothery, the 6 of Rusty Modesty, 34 Nolan Potter, and it just completely flipped the script there in the last 5 laps.
I would have taken any bet in the world that Harold Watkins and Kevin Dowd will not be on the podium after looking at the last 3 cautions and how this field was restacking. But man, let's go back before it's too late now. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Harold Rothery with 4 to go. This is right here. Makes a little contact with Harold Watkins. Those 2 cars had been running side by side for about 3 consecutive laps, and contact was finally made. And Harold Rothery was not the benefactor on the positive side of that.
Yeah, it looks like they just touched wheels just slightly there off of 4, and nothing, no ill will, no malicious intent there. Just a racing deal, and just touched the wheels, and it just Rothery got the bad end of that stick.
That was insane. Let's go back and take a look at how this thing plays out. You see Harold Watkins there coming to the corner. Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. and Kevin Dowd having a drag race right behind them. And Harold Watkins gets his first victory tonight. What a finish that you got to witness here from USA Speedway. That was
that was if the crossovers, and you seen they're going off into 3. Robert Patrick Jr. pulled a Harold Watkins there, just drove it off to the bottom and said, "I'm taking this spot, and if you want it back, you're gonna have to come take it from me." And he was able to hold it there to the line.
All right. Well, I think you have Kevin Dowd there near you. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Kevin, it's Ryan and David up at the ERM booth. You got me?
Sure do.
Wow, man, what a finish there at the end. Able to bring it home 3rd. Give me your insights on the race tonight and just how everything went down.
Tires paid off. Harold and myself, and actually the other Harold, we got tires on the last caution, and that helped a lot.
Well, you had one of the biggest cheerleaders out there in chat tonight. Ryan was rooting for you, and I believe Casey Kuntz. So have to give him a shout out there in Victor Lane once we get to it. But all night you stayed in the back half of the field all night. What really helped you flip the script and pull off a 3rd place finish tonight?
I just want to stay out of trouble and just keep up with everybody and not lose sight of them, and just run my lines. And I could tell my laps were consistent, and I was matching race pace there at the end. And then the cautions come out, and Junior was coming up on me on the inside, and I seen he had a head of steam, and we're at the last lap there, and I was like, I can pinch him down or I can block him, but I don't want to wreck myself. And I was happy with 3rd.
Yeah, we've seen that move going off into 3 there. He had the run, and he committed to the bottom, and looks like he drove it another 2 or 3 car lengths deeper than what you wanted to go to kind of slide job in there in the middle of 3 and 4. But, heck of a run tonight, bringing it home 3rd. We talked about you, I believe, about halfway through. Like I said, watch Kevin there throughout the middle of the run. He always seems to creep his way up there at the end. So nice to see you come away with a third place finish. Before we let you get out of here, anybody you want to thank or send a shout out to?
Yeah, heck yeah, Ryan Bean, man. I downloaded a setup and I just named it Ryan Bean dot USA Speedway, and it was fast. So I mean, anything with his name on it's fast. And you guys in the booth and Casey, we talked all night, and the whole league and Rusty and everything. This is fun. I enjoy it.
Well, man, we'll let you get out of here and go enjoy the third place finish, and hope talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Well, that's your third place finisher, Kevin Dowd, with his best finish this season, if I'm not mistaken. It's awesome to see the 98 Potter County Diggers car up there in such an exciting fashion. Well, we've got one of the guys that we didn't really expect after the way things were playing out there for the last 15 laps to end up in the podium. So let's see if I can't get a word with Mr. Junior. Junior, this is Ryan and David up in the RM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, where in the hell did you come from, and how did you get there?
Man, I think I restarted like 9th or 10th there. Went and got fresh tires. So just got to do it.
Brother, you threw that thing in there, and you and Kevin Dowd, I thought, oh no, he's going to make contact again. No, it's not going to happen. And you guys had a drag race for literally 2.5 laps.
Yeah.
And you both made it stick. You know, it was, tell me about this track, because we watched earlier as you were just hounding on the front bumper the first half of the race of Will Brinkley. You had a faster car, and then you barely get those left side tires over on the apron, cross that yellow line, and the car just kicks on you. Is that something that you guys had to watch all night, or was that only on old tires? How did the track come to life tonight?
Yeah, I really don't know, because I was hitting the apron, all race. It must have been with the old tires. My tires were at like 35 when we were done on that run. So it must have been just the old tires, and I probably got into the throttle, and she just went around. But that run there, when we all four got bunched up there, like 70 laps into that run, was pretty crazy.
Man, that was some of the best racing that we have seen in this league. This was race number 11, and I can honestly say, looking back and having watched all 11 races from green flag to the checkered flag, this was the most action, and it wasn't in the first half. I would say from lap 65 to lap 70, when, like you said, the four of you guys got grouped together up there, were all battling, and then the entire back half of the race was some of the most intense racing. Half of the field taking new tires and starting 7th back. And then watching you guys battle your way front. What did you need to get up there and really give Harold Watkins a run for his money?
Well, I had to take a couple of risky moves there with like 3-4 to go. But I think I might have had him with 2 more to go. But if we had about 2 more to go, and this might have been the most fun I've ever had on here, this track today.
I can tell you, it looked like it, did it not, David?
Oh, for sure. You mentioned risky moves. I missed the first part of it, but explain that, or not explain, but what was going through your head there on that final move on the Kevin going off into 3, coming to the checkered?
Yeah, I just seen him. He took a lane up and just gave it to me, and I took a late apex, to carry speed out, and he gave it to me, and I just threw it in there. I said, hey, might as well. Gotta do it now,
Yeah, I was saying it was a heck of a move for sure, and it definitely secured you that second place spot. It just it looked like one of those of, well, here it goes, I hope it sticks kind of deal.
Yeah, because he just was sitting in that, like, right on the line. I'm watching it right now, and I said, well, I got the speed, let's go. And I had fresher tires than him by then. Those two guys probably about 17, 18 lap fresh tires, so I knew I'd be able to stick it.
Well, you made it work, but with inches to spare there, Bob. And you put on probably one of the better races I've seen on the sim in quite some time. So congratulations on a second place podium finish. We talked about kind of having the crappy luck this season with either being caught up in somebody else's incidents, setup not coming to life like you hoped. So congratulations on a second place finish tonight. But before we let you go, brother, I want to make sure to give you any opportunity to give any shout-outs, sponsor plugs. The mic is yours.
Hey, just shout out to Rusty and all the guys in here. It's a fun little league. Um, the wife let me do this
Absolutely.
Monday,
Yep.
Tuesday, and then you guys putting the show on.
Awesome.
Fun.
Well, brother, go
Can't wait to watch
congratulate.
this one.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have fun watching this one. That's for sure. Well, get out there and have some fun. Congratulations, and we look forward to talking to you tomorrow night at the RSR event.
All right, thanks. See ya.
Well, there's your second place finisher, David. Now I don't know what else left to say, man. I cannot wait. I'm like him. I can't wait to go back and watch this and really take in the action that we witnessed tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure we missed some stuff calling it, and but I hope the viewers out there just loved it. I mean, it was just action packed from, like I said, the first half was just guys getting in rhythm and taking time, but the back half of that race was just amazing.
Boy, you ain't lying. Well, I'm getting word that you may have our race winner with you.
Mr. Watkins, Ryan, and David up in the booth, in the ERM booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, man of the hour here. Somehow able to hold on there towards the end. You had lots of pressure there on those final few restarts. Take us through your mindset there towards the end of the race tonight.
Well, I was complete dog water the whole beginning of the race. That long run, I fell way back. I accidentally put the wrong setup in. I was too busy looking at DraftKings. So I got caught up there. But luckily, it was still a USA setup. It just wasn't a good long run setup. But yeah, at the end, I was just like, oh man, I got a chance. I got fresh tires. I'm able to stay with guys a little bit faster. And then I finally got around Rusty, finally got around Nolan. Felt bad, kind of got into Harold at the end there too. But I saw Bob come in. I'm like, oh no. But thankfully, I had just enough.
Yeah. Talking with him just a little bit ago, he said if he had a couple more laps, he might could have got to you. But you like you said, you fell back there in the beginning, but with the late race cautions, it seemed to kind of play in your favor with that setup being a short run setup.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I could really drive it in pretty well and then get out pretty good with that setup, but it just burned tires like no other. So it just played out just right for me to win this race.
Looks like I'm going to Langley next week. Any thoughts or kind of opinions going into there?
I don't know really. Off the top of my head, I don't really remember Langley, so that's probably not a good sign. But luckily in this league, anyone can win on any night, just about. So I mean, it's a really fun league, and I think it'll be really tight racing again, like it was the last few days.
All right. Well, Ryan out there in chat, big cheerleader for you, saying congrats and a really popular win with the league. Just first win. What's first win with this league here this season? Kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, first win in any league actually. So feels good to get the monkey off the back.
Congrats! That's a big feat right there, brother.
Yeah, I've only really ran in RSR in this league, and then now the next gen league. So feels really good to get that first win, and hopefully I can get some momentum and carry it through.
Yeah, get the win here on Monday night, carry the momentum into the RSR race tomorrow night, and end of the next gen. I believe they run on Sundays. So, just really proud of you tonight. You put on a heck of a show. All you guys did. Before we let you get out of here and to go celebrate this first big win, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, thanks to my family. I was at Bristol all weekend, so just appreciate my wife for letting me do that and then get on and race. So really appreciate my wife again. Shout out to Nolan. him and I worked really hard on the setup today and before the race. Unfortunately, didn't get to use that setup, but shout out to him. And thanks to you guys for a great broadcast every week, and Rusty for putting on a great league.
Well, man, we'll let you get out of here. Go celebrate with the wife. Make sure you go grab her up out of bed and say, hey,
right.
Listen, I won, and time to wait. Let's go celebrate, pop the champagne, and everything else. So go celebrate with everybody and enjoy this one, and hopefully be talking to you maybe tomorrow night in the RSR League.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. That was awesome right there. I'm telling you, I'm still grinning from ear to ear, David. This was some of the most exciting racing I've seen on the sim these guys put it all out on the line. They know that there's only 3 more races after this, 2 more ovals and 1 more road course. And next week, you heard it, we go to Langley, then Summit Point, and then the final race is going to make me have to actually go look at the schedule because I'm literally just drawing a blank right here. And we've got Langley, Summit Point, Oxford Plains to finish the season. It feels like last week we just started this thing, and now here we are with only 3 races to go. So I'm really looking forward to it. But before we get everybody out of here tonight, let's take a look and see exactly how the race finished up and see what those final results were. And if I can do my job here. There we go. Maybe one of these days it'll work. There we go. Harold Watkins coming in with your victory tonight. First time in any league, not just this league. So that's awesome.
I want to thank his wife again.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Watkins, very much.
I'll give you a shout out for him again for letting him do this tonight after he's been in Bristol all weekend. So thank you. Shout out to Miss Watkins one more time.
That's right. And Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., you heard right there. The 3-car coming in second, having a great race after putting it all out there and just needed a few more laps, he said, to come home with the victor. But Kevin Dowd, Potter County Diggers, a co-owner and premier sponsor of the league, coming in third tonight with the 98 car, doing well. Nolan Potter in the 34, a favorite Styrofoam Cup, finishing fourth. And fifth, Rusty Modesty, our league owner, having a good solid points night tonight. I'm really curious to see how this thing plays out next week and to see how close he comes to overtaking Ryan Bean in the points before he comes back. And finally, in the first half of the field, Dick Little rounding out your top 6 with a solid 6th place finish in the 68 Dick Little body shop car.
Casey Kuntz there in the 31 coming in 7th. Was up front there most of the night, and I believe he got caught up in a little incident about halfway through. So nice to see him, be able to salvage a 7th place. Jerry Culver finishing 8th in the 13. We seen him. He did get caught up in that one incident. We seen him backwards on the front straightaway. So very nice job recovered there to salvage an 8th place finish. Harold Rothery finishing out, coming in 9th. Not the night he wanted tonight. He's up front all night, had one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car. Bad incident there, going off and just getting caught up in a mess and just pretty much destroying the right front of the car. So hate that for him. So not the finish he was hoping for tonight. 10th was Will Brinkley. Same deal. Had probably one of the fastest cars tonight. Just bad situation there going. I think it was on 1 or 2 they got together, and Harold went left and Will went right. So just hate it for those guys, and so hopefully he can rebound next week at Langley and put out a better finish. Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. in 11th there. Had a couple incidents tonight, but still managed to bring it home 11th. And Kevin Zab was, I believe, upside down on front straightaway within the first few laps. So I believe he finished multiple laps down tonight. So just hate that for him, and hope they get the car fixed up and ready to go next week.
That's right. And that is your results here tonight from USA Speedway in Lakeland, Florida, from the U.S. Legends Open Series. Man, what a great race. I am still grinning ear to ear and cannot wait to go back and watch this several times, to go back and watch the back half of this race, because it was so much fun, so much action, hard to even keep up with. Even though it's such a small track, there's action in the front, the middle, and the back of the pack. So, man, this is going to take a while to unpack. Next week, we go to Langley, like we mentioned before, so that's going to be interesting. Another 125 laps at a short track, and then we have a road course at Summit Point, and then we end the season at Oxford Plains for another 125 laps. So make sure you tune in, folks. Before we do everybody's closing comments here, Sheffield, what did you think of tonight's race? I know you didn't get to see a lot of the first half because you were finishing up with the Adrenaline Rush Racing League and the trucks. But, you know, you probably did not miss. You probably came in at the right time because you got some of the most intense action we've seen in a while. Alrighty, then it looks like we might be having some technical difficulties.
I think his
there.
mic's having issues.
Yep. All right. Well, David, I'm going to ask you, what's your closing comments for tonight? What's your takeaways from tonight? What do you look forward to in the next week?
I really look forward to getting out of here tonight and going back to the computer and seeing where, honestly, where Harold Watkins is going to stack up. I believe he was 3rd or 4th there on the list behind Ryan. You know, to see how much these guys really did gain on Ryan. You know, if Ryan would have been here the past 2 weeks and the way he's running, it would have been a runaway. So I'm happy. I'm interested to see how this tightens the points battle up, to see if there's if going into the last 3 weeks, if we can make this a little tighter, a little more interesting. But you know, these guys put on a heck of a show tonight here at a tough racetrack. Seriously, legitimately one-line racetrack with it being such a paperclip. But they, some of the guys had the outside lines working. We had side-by-side action, and a couple times, a couple guys peaked for 3 wide and some dive bombs. So we had a little bit of everything. So just really interesting to see what Langley's going to hold next week.
Hey, so
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now, Sheffield.
Mr. S.
Yeah, I had some issues there when I brought up iRacing. It dropped my sound on everything. So
been there, done that.
I did catch from about lap 76 on. I mean, it's great racing there right when that caution flag came out. Listen to the broadcast. As always, great job by you guys up there. I just got to say, David, you need to start building setups listening to the broadcast. So I know who I'm tasking with setup building from now on.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, I want to ask you both. So, do we want a cliffhanger for next week, or do we want to leave them with a little bit of tidbit? I got an update on the points, folks. I'll throw this out there. We have a new points leader for the first time this season. Rusty Modesty has taken a 2-point advantage over Ryan Bean, 379 to 377 points. And Harold Watkins, with his victory, has moved up to 3rd spot, only 10 points back of Ryan Bean. So we have a leader tonight. We have a Ryan Newman. We have a Denny Hamlin coming into the playoffs this year. A points leader in the regular season that has not gotten a victory. Does Rusty get his victory next week? Well, you have to tune in and find out. That is incredible. That's what I wanted to see there, guys.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, going into the last 3 weeks, I mean, Ryan is lights out, probably one of the favorites to win week in and week out. But we've also seen him have his fair share of issues and get caught up in wrecks, have not the best finishes.
Yeah.
So, 1 or 2 bad weeks coming up here in the last 3 weeks, and, he could possibly knock himself out of running for a championship.
Hey, there is no buffer anymore. This is basically like resetting the points for the top 5 guys. Nolan Potter and Andrew Little make up 4th and 5th, and you have 379 to 355, 24 points difference between 1st through 5th. So that is still anybody's race. Look forward to it. As always, thank you to Sherry Culver tuning in tonight, giving the comments out there. We always appreciate the #1 fan of US Legends Open Series tuning in, listening to us cut up in here and just kick it and have fun. Thank you to Rusty Modesty, the league owner, everybody at US Legends Open Series, Michael Sheffield, David Edwards, and all of the ERN, ERL team that's out there and help. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to next week as the playoffs, or the end of the season, if you will, is starting to heat up here at US Legends. But you don't have to wait until then to see the action. Tomorrow night at 7:30 on Facebook, Evolution Racing Network, RSR Series is coming to their 3rd week. We got a nice little battle kicking up over there early in the season. Tomorrow night, though, it's going to be Michigan. Some big speedway racing, 100 laps, Limited tires, 100% fuel, short first and second stage. I can't wait for the action. Make sure you tune in on our Facebook page. And until then, folks, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that, smash that subscribe button. Like, comment, follow, do whatever you can to help us out. We certainly appreciate it. Till then, have a great week. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Later, guys.